Yeah, so the Vedas, people like even like again this story of like concealing our true history and cutting it off from the magnitude of how ancient it is. Um, the even like Vedic scholars say that the Vedas are what, maybe 3,000 years old. Bull. They are 12,000 years old. They were transmitted orally for thousands of years before they were written down. They were transmitted orally. The Vedas are from the end of Atlantis. These are from the holy rishis were initiated, like as the story goes. The holy rishis were the initiates of this Manu figure, and every like mythology has a record of the flood and a record of this Manu figure. In Judeo-Christianity, his name is Noah, and the story goes, oh, he gathered a bunch of animals onto a boat. But the story, the symbolism of the story is more important than the literal. Like, it's not about like preserving the genetics of the animals and repopulating the earth with animal genetics. It's not like about that. It's about like rescuing the treasures from the old world and replanting it in the new world. And like ancient Sumeria in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which they also say is one of the oldest stories, like you have the figure Utnapishtim, who's the Noah figure, who's the Manu figure, who's the only mortal who achieved immortality. And Gilgamesh has to go visit him, in the story of Gilgamesh. That's that same figure. So this is a very important figure in esoteric history, who is the transition from the Atlantean cataclysm to the post-Atlantean epoch. And he's like the initiator of like Hermes Trismegistus and Zarathustra and all of these like great civilizational founders, So in this webinar, which I'm really happy with how this webinar turned out. It's like 5 hours, but I trace from Atlantis, like the esoteric chain, right up to the present, like right up to Carl Jung and Rudolf Steiner and the work that I'm doing in the School of Modern Soul Science and Soul Invictus. Like I trace this lineage. And this, I think, has a lot of benefit for Westerners to kind of have this paradigm, because it helps them feel connected to this unbroken chain. And that's what we need. That's exactly what's been attacked by this evil Roman, like anti-spiritual impulse, right? That is now like working through like secret societies, but for hundreds and for centuries was working through the church structure, So yeah, Atlantis, and then like ancient Egypt, and like a crucial part in this chain is Alexandria, because what happens is in this like every once in a while, like when there's transition periods, like when there's the end of one civilization and the beginning of another, it's like the torch gets passed. And so you have this figure of Manu who's passing the torch from Atlantis to his initiates, which are all like the leaders of the post-Atlantean civilization. That's like a bodhisattvic act of like passing the torch across the transition of epochs. And so you have like major transitional epochs, like the end of a whole epoch, like the Atlantean epoch, which ends in cataclysm. But then you have like mini epochal transitions, like the transition from ancient Egypt to ancient Greece, for example. Like Alexander conquered ancient Egypt, and he conquered ancient Persia. And like when you have like these empires falling, you have new empires emerging. And in this transition period, you have this Hermes impulse, this hermetic impulse of translating into a new language the shamanic knowledge, or the initiatic, the mystery school knowledge.